Let's be real, we've gotten some horrible advice, but the question is, any of that advice actually useful? And I'm actually going to give you guys a list of some advice that I've received in my life that has proved to be some of the best advice I've actually probably ever had in my entire life. The worst advice I received that has actually proven to be really, really helpful was use substance as adaptive aid. Now, this came from Rob the Bank on YouTube. If you guys have ever seen him, he's got some awesome content. A lot of the things he says is a little bit extreme, but sometimes extreme is what it takes to wake you up. Now, he was talking about stimulants as a whole, but I'm honestly not really a guy like that. I don't believe in smoking. I don't believe in drinking. I believe in keeping your body really healthy. If you want to succeed in life, you've got to be as healthy as possible. Your body has to be running like a well oiled machine. So, for me, how I've adapted this is I've been using caffeine and more in particular, like pre workout. So, the brand that I use is called Ghost. You guys might have heard of it. It looks probably like it's going to be the most unhealthy, but it's actually probably the most healthy. Down to the ingredients, no seed oils, not as much sugar that I can remember. No, is caffeine really that healthy? Definitely not, but it's the healthier option. Even their B12 substitution, a lot of the times, most energy drinks use something called cyanocobalamin, which is kind of like this is the gross part. It's this yellow sludge that develops at the top of a sewage plant, and they scrape it off and they basically dehydrate it and create this B12 substitute. Don't know why they do that. This one is made with methylcobalamin, which is essentially it's a B12 substitute that comes from the fat of animals, which is a little bit better, and they're not going to process it in anything weird. So this one is actually one of my top choices. I've loved it. It's helped me to stay really productive, especially as someone who is undiagnosed ADHD. It helps me to focus. It helps me to stay focused on a task for extended periods of time. I found that the best way to do this as well, and as I've studied it, my wife actually is all about health as well, and she watches this guy who basically runs something called the Biblio diet. And he says if you're going to use caffeine, make sure you drink it all at once in the morning. Don't take it throughout the day. You definitely don't want to take it past 6 o'clock because it takes about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours to get out of your system. So you won't be sleeping. That's all I'm going to say. So drink it all at once in the morning. That's the healthiest way to do it, preferably after drinking 8 ounces of water. Now you have to keep in mind that if you're going to be doing this, yeah, it's going to make you productive. It's going to make you really successful with your tasks in the day, but it's also going to make you dehydrated, which could also give you the adverse effects. So you need to make sure that you're drinking lots of water, and you got to make sure that you're doing it often. Okay. Also, if you're going to do this, take breaks. Like only use it on the days that you need to work, right? Honestly, becoming addicted to caffeine is not having any addiction period is probably the worst thing you can have in your life. So don't do that. The next one, fake it till you make it. Now, honestly, some of the worst advice, but it has also proven at the same exact time to be the best advice in some degree or another. A lot of people are like, well, faking it is not good. You got to stay true to yourself, to the way you are. You got to be yourself. Be yourself and you'll be okay. Well, honestly, that is the biggest lie ever. If you want to become someone better, you got to put yourself in the shoes of that person you want to become. So fake it. I've said it before in a video, but when I got back from my 2 year LDS mission, I got into a little bit of a sales job and I did it for a while and I was not feeling confident for the longest time. It was really quite the struggle. So, what I found is that as I started to fake the confidence, I gained confidence. I gained lots of confidence and I started to sell more and I started to make more money and I started to do a lot more and I started to learn a lot more. Not only that, the relationships I made were super, super powerful. I met some people that I really hope I run into again, even though I'm not working that job. But fake it till you make it, and you will always succeed. The next one, do the bare minimum. That is some horrible advice that actually works. Now, what does that actually even mean? Do the bare minimum. It doesn't mean be lazy. It doesn't mean be idle, right? Idle hands are the devil's workshop. But do the bare minimum in the fact that only do what you need to do at the task on hand. Now, the main purpose of this also is to help you escape perfectionism. If you're so focused on trying to be perfect, you often do things wrong. You often stress yourself out, you burn out, right? So if you want to do things with the law of consistency, which is doing something over and over and over again for extended periods of time for a return much larger than the sacrifice, you can't push yourself too hard. If you push yourself too hard, you're going to burn yourself out and fail. So don't do that. The next one, detach from everything. This is the law of detachment. Now, if you want to study these laws, these are laws of self improvement that actually work and that are actually biblically backed. That's a hard phrase to say. It sounds cold, but it's taught me independence. I've learned that a lot of the friends I've made in my life have been really, really bad for me. And I love them so much, but sometimes the things that they do and the way that they are affecting you are it's just not worth it in the long term. So you have to detach. Not only that, you got to detach from habits, activities. And when you detach, maybe it's just a temporary thing. Maybe you're skipping out on video games for a week. And that alone is super powerful and will change your life forever if you can do it enough. The next thing, get married young. This is some horrible advice that actually works, and I'll tell you exactly why. In history, people have always gotten married really, really young, as soon as they were able. And in history, you also saw less divorces. In fact, the divorce rates were almost zero. Nowadays, people are getting married later and they're getting divorced all the time. And the truth is, if you get married too late, you've already built your life up, and quite frankly, only for you. You haven't left room for anybody else. So get married young. I did. My life's been awesome. I've got a business partner who works with me equally, who lets me know if I'm falling off the course, and likewise, we both help each other grow. It is the greatest hack in self improvement. Remember Adam and Eve? God gave Adam Eve as help me, help support him, to help him grow, progress. You need yourself an Eve. Sometimes true wisdom hides within the advice that sounds really, really dumb, or even dangerous for that matter. But in reality, it's all about how you apply it. If your focus is God, ultimately, I don't believe you'll make a mistake. If you have your standards and you hold those true, and you know what you want and what you don't want in your life, these words of advice will help you as much as they have helped me. My name is Gabriel Bowman. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you later.